All right. Hey guys, getting exciting in silver. Is the bottom in silver? Let's take a look at the structure through the lens of Elliott wave and dial this in. All right, here we go. All right. So, in spite of all this excitement, this is still three up. I think this is five up for a wave one. Then it got a overlapping and corrective looking wave two. And then we have another impulse. This clearly to me looks like a wave three. And this is chopping along in an overlapping manner, which makes me think wave four, just by the character of this wave. Now, I know some of you are on phones. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to zoom in here and look at the current posture of price. This could absolutely be a wave four. I've got the typical blue fibs on there where I like to see a wave four. And I've got the 100 fib on there of the larger structure. And in fact, you know what? Let me make this larger structure white. And given that we have three up, we need to figure out where might wave five be headed to. And the reason I want to see a fifth wave is because an Elliott wave, that's the whole game, is five up, three down. Without five up, you're not really in an impulse yet. It could still be a three wave correction because corrective waves are typically in three waves and impulsive waves are typically in five waves. So the holy grail in Elliott wave world is you want to see five up, which should get us up into this zone somewhere tonight or early tomorrow morning, and then look for a three wave retrace that holds support. And for real, the real magical place to grab along is on the retrace. And the reason being is you have a clear stop. Okay, I'm going to get to that in a second. So now I'm already long. I took some off at the 1618, which I tend to do. And then I had open orders at the 236, the 382, the 50%. Because as long as this thing stays over where I'm saying wave one is, let me get rid of this red level. This is the top of wave one. So our new parameter to the downside is 27.04. $27.04 is the parameter below which you do not want to see silver, at least until it gets above this level, this resistance. It needs to come up higher. So what I'm going to do right now is try to figure out where might a wave five project to. And yeah, so I like 2806 as still a meaningful ceiling. And I like 2704 as our current do not cross level. And so what I want to do is simply look at some additional fibs. Now, 200% fib is typical for a wave five. So is a 2236. 2382 is okay. So the first thing I notice is you see how when I put the 236 and the 382 on, it happens to straddle what was the bottom of wave one of this entire downside structure. In other words, the white wave one that goes with this wave five right here, and this wave four, and this wave three, the white wave one that goes with those labels is the level of this red line at 2806. And so now I've got these white fibs that straddle that level. I like that. So what I'm going to do is take off the 200 fib because that's kind of in no man's land. This is sort of combining Elliott wave with basic levels of price action. So I'd like to see this wave five. If this is indeed all of wave four, even though it's still chopping in this range, this is where I'd like to see wave five, because if we can get one more shove up into here, I think it's going to go a lot further towards confirming that the low is in. And then if this comes down correctively in three waves, we can get long. Now my basis is down here. I have an amazing basis. So I'm going to stay long, but I'm going to take off what I added down here, if I'm lucky enough to see this come up into here, I'm going to take it off and then I'm going to add it back incrementally. I'm going to layer because I don't know where the bottom's going to be. I just have a rough idea of where the bottom was going to be over here, but I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So one other way that I dial in the fifth wave is using ratios. There is a certain ratio between the entire length of wave three, and then you project upwards from the bottom of where wave four might be, and it's going to give you a ratio where it would be reasonable to expect wave five to terminate. So what I want to do is put that ratio box on my chart right now and get an idea, where do these fibs lie within that ratio box, and where does this red line happen in relation to that ratio box? All right, so to do the ratio box, I'm going to turn on my magnet. I'm going to go from the very bottom of the whole structure to the top of what might be a wave three, and then to the low of what might be a wave four, and that is 2739. Just going to drag this over to here, 2739. I like to use a magnet and get it right on to the penny because sometimes price has a way of touching these fib levels to the penny. I'm not predicting that, Most of the time it's a zone, but it's just my little pet peeve. I want to get it exactly on the penny using the magnet whenever I'm measuring. So now I'm going to go down to my templates. You can see I have a bunch of templates here. This one is for a ratio box. Okay, man, this would be amazing if wave five. So let me see what fib levels. Probably obviously the 2618 is probably going to be right in the middle there. Bam. So now I'm gonna. This is what would be ideal. Not predicting anything. This is a parameter. This is a guideline. Now look, maybe this is all you're going to get, and this is already topped out in three waves, and now we're going to come back. Now we're going to get a lower low. Maybe this. Look, I don't want to make your head explode, but maybe this is wave four, and we're going to get the lower low down into these levels. Is that possible? Well, yes. Until this completes five up, yes, that is possible. Do I think that's likely? No. No, I don't. So what else can I say about this ratio box? Not much. Okay, the last thing I could do, who knows what's this going to do? And now this is just silly actually trying to take this measurement, but if this is already a 1-2 of some sort, I'm just curious, where is this going to project to? Because guess what? Wave five should be composed of five waves. So if this is the 1-2 of wave five, 2749. All right, 2749. Isn't that interesting? That the 2-6, the whole entire structure points and allows to 2618 being the fifth wave, and then just the dimensions of this internal fifth wave measurements have a 2618 right in that same area. So that's called confluence. Now I'm not predicting anything because this price is going to do whatever it wants to do. But it's possible the price comes up into this box and tags that level. Now it's also possible, let me see on the smaller. Now look, the internal smaller structure, I like to use purple for my impulses, and I keep the major structure white. And now I'm going to actually put on the white labels. If this is 1, 2, I know they're not white, but they're going to be white in a second. Whoops. We're going to make those labels white, and then this internal structure is going to be purple. I'm not going to put the labels on yet, but what I can tell you is, as far as a parameter goes, anytime you're looking at a 1-2, you want to see it get above the 100 fib, because the 100 fib is sort of like you got to get escape velocity. In order for this to be a wave three, it's going to have to go through the 100 fib, and In this case, I really want to see it come all the way up to the 1618 and then get a wave 4 retrace and then get one more shove higher into this box. This is a tall order to think this is going to happen overnight, but it certainly could. It could happen in the Asia session. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah, it could. It could chop in here until Asia and then get a lift in Asia for wave 3, then get a little rest, a little pullback, and then for the later in the European session, get the final move up to knock off the 5th wave. And then we have a bearish Friday where everybody is crying the blues, talking about how silver is not bullish. 2482. Let me just move this over. That's how the narrative would go. Oh, damn, I didn't mean to move that. Okay. Undo is a favorite button when you're doing this kind of work. Want to give this plenty of time and space. If it wants to top out in the morning and then have a bearish Friday going into the weekend, I would not be surprised at all. Okay, so there's your parameters. So the real parameters that we're concerned with are staring us right in the face. I would say to the downside is really 27.45. This whole area right here is acceptable for a wave 4. But based on my experience, and just leave it at that, based on my experience, this could be wave 4. It could be. But because we haven't made a new high yet, it's also possible that this is an A, B, and we're going to get a C wave down for a wave 4, that's going to take us overnight. And maybe the Asia and Europe session gives us a C wave down for a deeper wave 4. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying these are the parameters, because this 100 fib is a perfectly good parameter for wave 4, which coincides with the 382, which is why I kind of like this. But at the same time, that would be awfully quick for a wave 4 to be done. Whereas this chopping and burning time off the clock, maybe it gets another quick spike down here, trying to stop out people, kick them off the bus. Hey, as long as it's over 27.4, it can remain an impulse, and I'll be looking for a 5th wave. I just can't predict the future. I don't have a crystal ball. I just know what the parameters are. So that's what I'm looking for. Let me actually move this red line over. This is just a level for that A wave. So I just like to be aware of that level, because this is really what kicked off that larger degree. This was the larger degree wave 4 region. And now this is a nano degree wave 4. Okay. And I just like to keep tabs on what I think are important levels. So, this needs to get above here and then hold above here and just keep coming and keep making higher highs and higher lows, just to talk in price action terms. You don't want to see any more lower lows. Now, this is one lower low you could see get breached tonight without raising an alarm, but you definitely do not want to see it come all the way back down and get below 27.04. And then on the top side, do I really need to give you a parameter? Not really, because as long as it's making higher lows and higher highs, if it terminates, I would say a minimum level is 28.06. Look, it doesn't have to make it into this box at all. If it makes it up here to 28.06 and just even touches it, I'm going to consider that 5 up. Okay. Now, because we know that we already have fibs there, which I took off the chart, because ideally this would be a slam. This is really going to increase the odds dramatically that the low is in, if price can get into this box between now and the Friday close. Let's just leave it at that. All right, so that's enough. You got your parameters. You got what I think. That's really it. Thanks for watching. If you want to make sure you get updates, this is my speech. Subscribe. You'll get notified when I make updates on silver. Thanks you so much for watching. If you feel like you're getting value, hit the like button. If you have questions about anything I've talked about, ask away in the comment section. I will get to you. If you really want to learn more about Elliott Wave in a quicker fashion, come join me inside of the Professor Trades Club. The link is in the description of this video. For less than $1 a day, you're going to get a different view of fibs coming from Armando, which is truly amazing. High-level expert scalper is what Armando is. Great teacher, too. I'm using his work. I'm just not presenting his work in my videos. I'm presenting Elliott Wave. But if you come join us in the club, you're going to get Armando's work, and you're going to get whatever instruments that I'm tracking using Elliott wave theory. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great time trading tonight. And whatever you do regarding silver or any other instrument for that matter, don't get killed. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.